drinks trolley.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David, yes.
David Jacobs still working. What are you choosing from the drinks trolley for us today?
Well, it's a nice warm one today because it's been quite cold here. So I've gone with a hot chocolate with extra cream on the top and some marshmallows because it was just needed today.
All right.
So it's very tasty.
That's a pudding, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but also liquid, so counts as a drink.
It counts, definitely.
It does count as a drink.
Okay, so today's confession comes from Budgie. Thank you, Budgie, for sending in tonight's tale. Father Simon, Sister Susie, brother from another gutter. I think it's about time I confessed to a crime in the early 1990s. I'll set the scene. Me and my now wife and our young son, probably about 4 or 5 at the time, lived in a flat 2 doors above my wife's sister and her boyfriend, who's my best friend, Larry. Larry and I like to partake in a few beers down our local, as you do, says Budgie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this pub was a mixture of Irish and English, us being on the English side. There was never any trouble and everyone got on fine. England-Ireland matches split the pub in 2 halves, with the banter making a great day out. From memory, always seemed to be a draw.
Yeah.
Just made things easier. Well, come bank holiday, and this pub would always do a great day, with entertainment for the kids and everything, food and obviously lots of beer. So bank holiday was approaching, but the girls decided instead of going to the pub as normal, they would like a day out with the kids at the zoo. Now, my wife's sister has had a young one as well, and normally me and Larry would have agreed. But this bank holiday was different because our pub was putting on a 5-a-side match. It was the English against the Irish. We couldn't miss this. So how could we get out of going to the zoo without causing arguments all round? This was when I had a very, very great idea, in my opinion. I was, and still am, a lorry driver. We never worked bank holidays unless there was an important job. So, as I think you might have guessed, I told my now wife that I had to work. Very important job, very important contract, very important customers. Lorries had to be driven. This was important work. You don't want to say no. I said it in that tone of voice. I also said, I asked Larry if he wanted to come along for the ride, which of course you could do in those days, but you can't now. Anyway, Father Simon, the girlfriends fell for it. And it even provided us with sandwiches and crisps on our hard day of driving/playing football. So we left the flats at 6 o'clock in the morning, sandwiches in hand, then straight down another friend's house, whose mum had made us a lovely breakfast. So we had a few drinks there, and then the match kicked off. I've skipped a bit here.
Yes.
The match kicked off, and I was flying in with the tackles. But don't worry, Father Simon, the Irish were a tough bunch. It was a great day. Can't remember who won.
No.
Can't remember much about the game, to be honest. But we saw the day out whilst they're playing football. Eventually going home to our lovely girlfriends, who weren't surprised that we were a little bit tipsy, because we told them that we'd finished our essential driving jobs early, and then we parked up and went straight to the pub.
Okay.
But this is not what I need forgiveness for.
Right.
When I woke in the morning, my dad was picking me up for work, but I was in absolute agony with my legs. They were black from the knee to the ankle. I managed to get out of the flat just about and into my dad's car. I think I must have been tackling a little too hard in my merry state. I got to work, but I couldn't do anything. So I went to hospital for an x-ray. Turned out I had badly fractured my left leg and badly bruised my right leg. How could I explain this to my wife, as she thought I was driving the lorry and not playing football against the Irish? So from then to this very day, she thinks I had an accident at work. I said, I fell off the lorry.
I fell off the lorry.
Yeah. The distributor and the cylinder block damaged the push rod, and as a result, the timing chain. It was an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
It was all bulging and everything. As a result, I lost my balance and I fell very awkwardly. I will always have a reminder of this, Father Simon, as I still have what looks like a bruise on my left leg. Plus, I was off work for 6 weeks. So I think I've paid my penance, even if my wife might think differently.
Yes.
Because, as I mentioned, she doesn't know anything about this.
Oh, no.
until about now. Come to think of it, neither does Larry's wife.
No.
Who was obviously involved in this story. P.S. My girlfriend and I got married in the end. It's our 30th anniversary next year. My friend also married my wife's sister, all still together, plenty more kids, and grandkids have since arrived, which is a very joyful thing. However, do we get forgiveness for Budgie for this tale of misleading two wives just so you can play football for the pub? Sister Susie, it is for the pub. Maybe that makes a difference. I don't know.
It's really hard because, yes, you are supporting your local pub, which is important, and they do need you. However, you did lie. And what you should have said is you should have convinced your girlfriend at the time to say, well, you know, we can go to the zoo any day, but the pub has only got this thing on a bank holiday. We need to go there. And you would have had a lovely day. Everything would have been fine. So I'm sorry, I can't forgive you because you lied.
Fell off the back of a lorry. That's what I did.
Yes.
Brother from another gutter.
Well, I'm gonna hazard the guess that that Budgie's girlfriend at the time knew what was going on, because who's buying that story that you're going to be driving a lorry all day Bank Holiday Monday and you've invited a friend to come along so he's going to spend Bank Holiday Monday going up and down the motorway. No one's buying that story, and I think she knew what was going on. They had a fabulous time at the zoo, and then, you know, it all worked out well in the end. Everyone had kids and grandkids and the big
just
brew,
like that,
and a great story to tell, and a smart speaker at the end of it. So for that reason, I choose to forgive.